everybody. Welcome back. We're live and on the air. I got with me from Memphis the head coach of the Christian Brothers Purple Wave, head coach Thomas McDaniel. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing awesome. You sound like you're in a hurry, man.
No, I'm not. I was just making an adjustment. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you, Coach. I'm not in any
It's all
hurry.
good.
I'm not in any hurry. What's going on over at Christian Brothers?
What's going on with you? The last I heard, this is it for you?
This is it.
Really?
Yeah, 25 years I've decided.
Too much money out there?
You're
Too much money out there.
You're exactly right, Coach. You've called me on the carpet. At 58 years old,
well,
I'm gonna go build towers, Coach.
Well, I mean, I would say part of that is if you invested more money and put less money into shirts and the shoes that you wear, you probably could keep doing it.
I could probably keep doing it. That is for
fact. But you like your fashion, don't you?
I do, Coach. You are correct. You called me. Hey, you called me out. I love it. Oh, our friendship.
No, man, I'm happy for you. That's awesome. I mean, you're just ready to turn the page, huh?
Well, and wife wants to build a house.
Okay.
So, and
are you? Well, I'm not gonna give up your spot, but are you still where you used to be?
Yeah. Still here.
Are you staying in that area, or are you leaving Murfreesboro?
No, I'm thinking about going up to Kentucky.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's some
Kentucky.
land. There's some land in the family that I might be able to build a house on.
In Eastern Kentucky.
No, I'm going.
I got you.
I'm actually going to about 18 minutes outside of Owensboro.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're thinking about it, and it's just something we want to do. And I don't know. It's Coach, to do even just to do. And I was telling somebody this other day. I was telling Will Kreisky. I said, I didn't join this to try to win any awards or do anything. It was literally all about one thing. I wanted the coaches to get their videos, and I wanted to display and let the kids, try to create some highlights, have some fun. And if then it came about that we thought we had a kid in Rutherford County and they needed any of my video, I'd put together whatever, and we try to get them, be a conduit and get them out of here and get them a college education. I mean, that's what I thought it was all about, And I've enjoyed it. I mean, we've sat and laughed. I was over at Kevin's today, and we were sitting there talking about, I told him, I said, this lunch that we're having right now started all because of one thing. You were not feeling well one day, and you said, hey, I hate to ask. And I said, what? And you said, you're coming over to do the show. I need you to go by Panera and get me some soup. And I said, okay. And I went by and got you some soup. And then I said, well, why don't we have lunch every Wednesday during this show? And from that time on until you left, and now Kevin and I have not missed a beat. We have lunch every Wednesday.
No, that's awesome, man. And I was just thinking, I guess you were a bit ahead of your time when you think about the highlight films and, all your interviews and YouTubing and all that stuff. It's part of the normal world now, but it wasn't back. That was 12, 15 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, and then, Coach, look at it like this. I was talking to David Limbaugh today, talk about an antique in Rutherford County. I was talking to David Limbaugh.
Yep.
And he said that now Riverdale's got a Jumbotron. Well, the visitors' press box, the visitors' radio, and the visitors' coaching box, they're gone because the electronics and all that to run it's to run the Jumbotron, they're gone. So, but what we talked about years ago, I mean, the press box that was built in 1981 or whatever, that was good for that time, but now it's getting where you're going to have double-decker press boxes. You're going to have everything to protect your own film crews as well as the broadcast crews.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's no doubt. And then the dilemma too, as you well know, I mean, in Rutherford County, but I think everywhere is, you need those things to continue to project the growth and that your program's moving in the right direction. And yet, more schools, so not as much support at the games. and everybody's live streaming things all the time, so people can just sit on their couch instead of coming to the events. And so it's kind of a dilemma in that, because you want people to be able to see your games if they're not within driving distance. And we live stream all of ours, but sometimes it's easier to sit on your couch on a Friday night and watch a game than go into it, and that kind of pulls at you a little bit, because part of the experience is you want, I think the one thing about Tom Nolan that he did better than anybody was just the morale, the school culture, the pride, and what he established there with pep rallies and community support. And Friday nights at Riverdale years ago was like old school high school football. I mean, how it was.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, but when I first got there, it was two schools. Really, a third one had just opened, right, in Blackman, and obviously Murfreesboro's grown so quickly that it's just it's kind of gotten watered down over the years. I know there's more people there, but a lot of those people are transplants, if you will, and they don't really have a connection to a school, so it makes it harder to get as much community crowd support. And obviously when there's big games that people are going to come to them, but man, you remember the days when Riverdale and Oakland played at MTSU because they couldn't have played in a high school stadium. So you miss those kind of atmospheres.
Absolutely. And not only that, though, you're so correct, but I mean, looking at it from an athletic director, and now that you are athletic director, and you think about those things and you talk about them in streaming versus the couch versus them coming to the game.
Yeah.
I think for me, high school football, the time from the time if you're a fan and you actually get to the stadium at 6:30 and get ready for the competition and everything. I mean, you're done by 9:30. You're home by 10 o'clock. It's a joke. I mean, it's a fast paced if you really go, and there's so much talent in the state of Tennessee. I mean, Friday night I've got two kids. I mean, there's going to be a kid going to Notre Dame and a kid going to UT on the field. Phillips bringing both of them, and I'm excited to see both of them from Knox Catholic. I want to see that talent. And I think I don't know. I mean, Coach, you and I mean, we talk about too. I mean, what is the big thing they talk about when you're at being an AD? What's the biggest challenge now being a good athletic director?
Oh man, there's so many of them. I mean, we have a lot of projects going on our campus. Renovating our press box, redid our track. We've got a lot of facility improvements that I've got to be kind of in tune to, and scheduling nightmares with making sure spring sports have spaces to practice, and then all the coaching requirements, and making sure emergency action plans are in place and everybody's got their coursework done so that they got all their checklists taken care of. But most of it's still about managing people and making sure that communication is good, and that at the end of the day, I'm fortunate that I have a lot of coaches that do things the right way, so I don't have to babysit them, but just kind of, everybody, myself included, you get in the grind of the season, whatever your season is, sometimes, you forget about certain things, so you got to be the person that kind of reminds coaches, hey, don't forget about, constant communication and schedule changes and, transportation issues, whatever. I mean, it's endless, but it's fun. But I do want to say this. You were talking about, you're a little bit different with your appreciation of Friday nights, and that's not the norm for most people. But I'll tell you something that's really cool. Somebody told me a long time ago. For somebody like myself or the guys that you talk to on the phone, typically when you get together with a group of buddies that you hadn't seen in a while, and you have a boys' weekend, you're not sitting around the fire talking about insurance or building towers. If you're with a football coach, you're talking about football. They're asking about practices and games, and because I think at the end of the day, whether you're 18 or 48, if you love it, it's still in your heart. It gets you excited. You know what I'm saying? And I had such a cool experience last weekend. I got to go to LA to see a kid that I coached here had his first NFL dress rehearsal for the Rams. They played last Saturday at SoFi. And anyway, we go to dinner afterwards. This kid just plays in his first NFL football game, and he's played for Georgia, won 2 SEC championships, won a national championship, played at Arizona. So he's played in the Pac-12, played at some cool stadiums, obviously in the Pac-12, and then he finished at Texas. So he's got to do all these things, and he's playing for the Rams, and we're at dinner, and all he wants to talk about is his time at Christian Brothers and his memories in high school football. So I think if you don't understand it, you can't get it. You wouldn't be able to know why Fridays are so much fun and people are so invested in it. But if you do understand it and it's been part of your life, what a cool conduit to connect people and create memories, and just a very special thing that I hope we never lose.
And no, and even meeting you and how I met you was because your camera person forgot to bring the battery or whatever, and now you don't even have video.
Of course they did.
You don't have video of a game, and I had never met you, and next thing you know, we're together and friends, and then that's when I told Judy. I said, Judy, after Itavis leaves, I'm going to start interviewing these other coaches because I'd never seen a Battle of the Borough. I'd always been either at Smyrna or Blackman, and so I'd never seen a Battle of the Borough. And I said, I want to see a Battle of the Borough. Now I've seen 10, 15 of them, and I love every one of them. There's no question. It's a great football game. But, you would be pleased, now that, it's a juicy conference because, now, if you were coaching at Oakland, the best part about it is you get to play. Everybody's forced to play you now. Smyrna's got to play you. Stewart's Creek's got to play you. So you only really have to find 3 non-conference, Coach.
Yeah, but I do think that's good that, in the short, whatever, the 7 years that I was there, we had some knockdown dragouts with Smyrna.
Yes.
Obviously the Riverdale-Oakland rivalry is one that should always be held in high regard, but with Blackman coming in the fold for both teams, that became a big, my last couple of years, obviously Blackman was really that was the game my last 2 years.
Yeah.
And anyway, Stewart's Creek, whatever you want, obviously Rockville now, but having all those schools within such a short distance of each other makes for easy scheduling, obviously, but also pretty cool that they have to compete against each other.
Well, you're going to get a great gate. For 7 games, everybody should be tight on their gate. You're just going to swap them. So, so that's going to be, and how many times when you were a kid, there's nothing better than Little League baseball when you played the guys that you went to school with, or you played Little League against. I think that's some of your best competition in games. Friday, you got a tough one, Coach. You got you got one of your non-conference, and you've been doing this for years, and thank God you do, but you got Fayette Ware.
Yeah, this is year number 19 for me. It's really hard to believe. I don't feel that old. I still love what I'm doing, and I actually we had a jamboree Friday night that we got to play against SBA, which my brother's the head coach there now, so that was pretty cool to play in a jamboree and work against him. But one of the colleagues in our league came up to me before the game and was shaking his head, and I thought something was wrong. And he goes, "Man, every time I think about you coaching football and doing ADs, like I don't know how you do it. Sometimes I don't know how I do it either, but it's fun. I have a lot of joy in all of it, and I really thought I might be in a spot, last year or this year where I start saying to myself, hey, this might be time to pack it up, but I still love it, and I enjoy every day with the boys and all of the challenges that it presents, whether it be weather or personnel or the opponent or whatever. And so, I just I don't have a day that goes by that I'm not grateful that, and I know that sounds like bull crap to a lot of people, but I find gratitude in all of it. I've been so lucky and fortunate and right timing, being around a lot of good people, and I've just the game's given so much more to me than I could have ever deserved, and I'm very blessed that I've been able to do it for this long, and I don't take it for granted. So I'm excited about, tomorrow night or Friday night and getting a chance to kick off another season. We got a great senior class, 33 kids in our senior class, and a lot of guys returning. I think we got a chance to be a real sleeper in the area and in the league. And I'm excited to see, where the next 8, 10, 12 weeks take us. So, we get to play 3 home games in a row, and then we travel to Nashville for 2 weeks in a row. But I'm excited about the way our schedule sets up. And like I said, I like the kids I work with every day, and they work extremely hard. They're bought into what we do, and for that I'm very grateful.
Well, and coach, you do it the right way. I mean, you're not only going to coach them, but you're going to make young men out of them. I mean, that's your big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to be. This. We've talked about it before, but I mean, I learned a lot of hard lessons my first couple of years at Oakland when I was super young, and I made it bigger than it needed to be, and it had to be all about winning and losing. And I quickly figured out that, like, if all of your joy and affirmation is going to be wrapped up in winning, then a lot of times you're going to be left with disappointment, and it's got to be more than that. And then obviously, about the time that I realized that I was an idiot when it came to that, I had my first daughter. Now I have 2 of them, and my family, my girls are my priority. Making sure I make my wife and my girls proud. So I'm real enough to know that, like, it's super important to me. It's important to our staff. It's important to our community. But at the end of the day, it's 16-year-old boys, and it's still a high school football game. And although a lot of people care about it, most people they frankly don't give a damn. So whether it was at Oakland walking into a cafeteria or at CBHS, you may walk in on a Friday and you think the edge of the world is right there at your feet because you're fixing to play in a game that could, make or break your season, and yet somebody that you engage with every day asks you if y'all have a game tonight, and that puts things into perspective sometimes because, again, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. At the end of the day, you're supposed to be building relationships, creating memories, and hopefully molding these guys into, men that are going to be great fathers and husbands and leaders. And I hope that as our staff tries to do, we can touch them in their hearts enough that they move forward and do that.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand that it's what you're trying to get at is it's the game is great, and it's brought a lot to families. It's like you said. I mean, look at college educations, all kinds of different things has happened. But at the end of the day, it's just a game, and a lot of people take it a little bit more serious than that at times, as you very well know.
Yeah, and I do too. But nobody. I mean, I tell our kids all the time, there's nobody that wants to win more than me. But I think you got to prioritize it. You got to keep it in perspective. And at the end of the day, I won't jeopardize our kids, our program, our reputation. I'm going to try to do it the right way, be consistent, develop guys, and that's the joy of high school football, is taking that, that ugly duckling as a freshman and seeing them develop over 4 years and then turn into somebody that's a really good high school football player, and that makes it fun. So, it's a game that definitely gives more than it takes. It's something that I think still to this day is probably the hardest class that you can take in high school. It teaches you a lot about toughness and perseverance, and it'll humble you real quick. And our young men today more than ever need that. So it's invaluable in my opinion.
I mean, I can't imagine all the thoughts you had as you say all that, and then you go out and you get to see a guy, like you said, come in, wear a freshman uniform, then he goes on and plays 2 national championships. Now he's in SoFi Stadium, and like you said, all he wanted to talk about is the Purple Wave.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, that like, I'm sitting there at dinner, and it just brought me I had so much joy just to see him get to live out a dream, obviously,
sure,
and be a part of it. That part alone was just incredible. But then to be at dinner and just kind of organically, he keeps telling all these stories, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, this guy's going through all these things, seen all these beautiful places, and all he wants to talk about is his high school time. And I think it was affirming that I tell our guys all the time that, it goes fast. You better enjoy all of it. You better enjoy the locker room. You better enjoy the sweat, the blood, the tears, the smells, the pains, the aches, all of it, because when it's over, for most of you, you're not getting it back, and it will be a void that you'll never be able to fulfill, and you'll miss it. And that's the beauty of all of it.
Yeah, and you're right. And that was the first thing Ty Nick said when you all when you got turf, when you switched from grass to turf. First thing I said to him, I said, "What's the difference?" He said, "Ain't no smell. Ain't no smell with that turf." He said, "Man, he said, we used to get out there in the grass. You smelt the grass. You breathe it in your nose." He said, "To get out there now, they ain't no smell with that daggone turf. Nothing to it." And I never even thought about it, but he's right. I can still. The smell of hot, sweaty grass and uniforms and stuff like that from practice fields. It's rare. Now because
Oh man,
everything's turf.
I'll tell you, we 2 years ago did a big project where we turfed all of the back side of our stadium. That was our practice area, and it was grass. And we turfed all that. And I can tell my coaches, my young coaches, young coaches that I work with now have never lined a field. Some of my best memories are on a third. This brings back like legit flashbacks for me. Being at Riverdale on a Thursday night at 11 o'clock, painting the field, somebody going to WT's. You remember that place?
Yes, sir.
And getting burgers. And getting burgers for everybody and painting that thing and trying to make it as pretty as we could so everybody'd be jealous. And I remember being at Oakland, and the first couple of years, the grass game field was just an absolute wreck. And we were trying to do everything we can to pull it together and laying sod and throwing sand and on top of trying to coach and teach and all that. And we practiced on the back grass. I don't know if Kevin practices there or not, but we practiced on the back grass every day because we couldn't get on the field because we couldn't tear it up, and we didn't have irrigation. And you know how that goes. Like,
Yep.
If you don't have irrigation, you got about 3 weeks, and then it's just a dust bowl. And you just practiced in the dirt. And again, that's another reason why every day I walk out there and the lines are painted and the turf is clean, and we just get to go practice. There's a lot to be grateful in that, but I think for a lot of young guys, they miss some of the things I got to experience where you had to learn how to paint a field and stripe a line and clean a machine. And we had a lot of long nights, but we had a lot of fun doing it.
Oh gosh, yes, and that's what people still don't know. I still say the funnest, the best thing that happens to you is if you get to ride in the car and trade that VHS or trade that DVD, and you had to go somewhere and meet them, and you get them on the phone, and it was a short conversation, and there wasn't a lot of cell phones back then, so it was and you didn't know if they were coming. You didn't know what you were getting, and you didn't know, it was a lot of that took place at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. It's according to who you played. If it was all here in Rutherford County, it was pretty simple. You met over at,
Shoney's.
You either met at Shoney's or you met at, what's the name of the gas station that's halfway in between? It's open all night. It's right there by the railroad tracks. I met there one night.
Yeah. Well, we used to trade at Shoney's all the time because, back then that's where they did the coaches show on Saturday morning.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. They used to do the radio show there years ago. And so, you'd get back and there'd be a 5-stack of VCRs and you dub all the tapes. And, I'm super grateful. Like I got to experience the transition from when I first started in 01, it was VHS, and obviously it went to DVD. And then, whoever was smart enough to invent Huddle obviously made a killing. But, so it's, and then now, our league, we have a league pool where everybody puts all their film in there, and it's ODK'd, and you've got to have 3 different angles of the game, and you ain't got to call and, barter and beg, borrow, and steal for video. It's just like we all just put it in there. So you got as much tape as you want. and it's already broken down for you. So, again, we've got a lot of, we got a lot of things that a lot of people don't have, and our league does a good job with that. But, you used to have to stay on the phone for 5 or 6 hours and call 20 people you didn't know to try to get somebody to give you a tape. And then you're driving an hour and a half to go meet somebody, on the other side of Lebanon or something to be able to get, one film. So, we've come a long way.
But you had to have something to trade. You had to have something they wanted or they needed.
Exactly.
I mean, you couldn't just call up and say, "Do you have a copy?" You had to sometimes acquire a copy.
No, you had to.
You had to acquire a copy from maybe another coach, take it and trade it to another coach to get what you wanted. And people didn't.
Well, as you well know, at Riverdale, it was a little more difficult than even that because at that time, they were on a hot streak for many years, and people weren't just lining up to help them. So it was always interesting on the weekends.
I'm sure it was. Coach, I can't thank you enough for joining me on Inside the Headset. You're one of the best. Good luck Friday night. Stay healthy and go Purple Wave.
All right. Love you, brother. Thanks, man.